see you fine.
All right, folks, today is Monday, August 17th. So we've been tracking the adaptive entry system trades today. And to be honest, the NASDAQ 100, which is where we do the majority of our training and profiling and teaching of the adaptive entry system here in the live trading room, has been a little sluggish today. When I say sluggish, the NASDAQ 100 futures can be a very rapidly moving index. We've not seen that today. When you're looking at it, 1 5-minute bar at a time, it feels very slow and sluggish. That's the way it felt today. But if you look back from 9:30, which is the regular market session open, there have been some nice trends, some nice cycles. So we've had some nice cycles up, we've had some pauses, we've had some nice cycles up. But it's interesting when you go back and you replay and you look at where or what the overall performance for the day was, it gives you a different perspective. And so on that point, that's exactly why we created the personal trading plan. It can be very confusing when you're in the midst of trading every single day and you're trading off of a 5-minute chart. We have some people in our room that actually trade 3-minute charts. We have a lot of people who trade 10-minute and 30-minute charts and even longer time frames. But when you're trading a 5-minute chart, you can look at each bar develop, each bar print. It's a little confusing. Not confusing. It's a little tedious because it's not following through as quickly, rapidly as you'd like to see it. So today, because of how slow the movement was, we adopted an approach of locking in 5 points. Normally, our profit target on NQ is 10 points. Each point is $20. So we're looking for $200 out of each trade. Today, we adopted the approach of locking in 5 points, still having our 10-point target out there just because we saw it reach 5, 6, 6.5 points and then retreat and then either not come back to hit 10 again or just so slow and sluggish that it took a half hour or so maybe to reach 10 points. So keep that in mind when I share this with you. The performance today, so we took 5 points on this last trade and we had a 3 and 3/4 point drawdown on the trade. So we have 5. We don't know yet by the end of the day if it's going to hit 20 points or 30 points or what the full cycle is going to be, but we're not tracking that in terms of reporting on our personal trading plan. So today, if I look at the daily summary, the 2 categories that we track are the 9:30 to 12, taking all signals. All means the consensus signals, the momentum signals, the trend bias signals, and the continuation signals, all of those. And then we also track from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. the trend bias only signals along with consensus signals. So what you see here, if you're not familiar with this, is the number of points that we've produced, and each point is worth $20 on a single contract. So let's start with our 9:30 to 12 category. That time frame is one that we track because it's easy for a lot of our members in the live trading room to trade 9:30 to 12. They can carve that amount of time out of their day and still have the majority of their day to go off and do whatever they choose to for the day. So we're going to pull up our, let's see, it's 50 and 8. So we're going to pull up our personal trading plan and we're going to go to the all category. So today is Monday, August 17th, and we're going to go over to our entry field, data entry field. So we have 50 points. 50 points at $20 a point is $1,000. And our personal trading plan has scaled us up to 3 contracts. I'll explain that more in just a minute. So $3,000. And then we had 8 trades. 8 trades times 3 contracts per trade is 24 contracts. And so that results in a net profit to us of $2,904. So we go up here and we look at what the average is when we blend together our winning days and our losing days. And one of the things that Aaron designed for us, just a real simple little update to the trading plan, is I now have broken out the average between losing days and winning days. So that helps me plan a little bit better for my future forecast. This is an average, a blended average of both winning days and losing days. This now is an average of my winning days, and this is an average of my losing days. So now in these two fields here, I want to insert whatever I believe the future forecast should look like. So all of the fields that are highlighted in blue are completed days. We are actually into our 7th week now of profiling this into the live trading room, and our 7th week of taking actual live performance of the adaptive entry system and plugging it into the personal trading plan so that you see what the overall performance could end up looking like. So here, I'm planning my winning days to be 26.5 points, but my actual is 27.4. So I'm going to update this 27.4. And so that means that going forward, I am currently planning my winning days to be comparable to what my run rate has been so far. That makes this a very um, um, realistic forecast. You want your forecast for the remainder of 12 months to be as accurate as possible. That number may continue to change, and it will just depend on what each day looks like, you know, winning days, losing days, strength of winning days, strength of losing days, etc. And our losing days are planned at 15.6 points per losing day, and we're actually averaging 15.62. So I think that's a very realistic average. If you've not been here before, we are also realistic in terms of the balance between wins and losses. We plan in our forecast that we will have, on an average, 4 winning days a week and 1 losing day a week. So when you see the 27.4, it assumes that that will equate to an average of 4 days a week, and the negative 15.6 will be equating to an average of 1 day a week. So as I said, we are into our 7th week, and we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losing days. So 6, I'm sorry, I might have miscounted that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have had 7 losing days, and we are into our 7th week. So we're at the beginning of our 7th week. We're slightly ahead in terms of frequency of losses, but look at where we are. Our average is 15.6. Most of our losses, except for one sizable one, were well below that. So I'm still comfortable with leaving our allocation of losses at an average of 1 day a week, and that can be changed also going forward, and we're going to leave it at 15.6. Now the key here is then the 3 contracts max. We're going to max out at 3 contracts. Right now we have it built into our plan not to exceed 3 contracts, and based on these values right here, based on the actuals and then the forecasting out based on the same run rate, that projects out a 12-month income of about $285,000. So we're pretty excited about that. We think that that's a pretty solid number considering we started with $5,000, and we've allowed the trading plan to help guide us in terms of when the proper time to scale is. Scaling up in contracts is all based on what percentage of the total balance of the account do we want to assign to contracts. Each contract requires $500 of margin to trade, so we want to trade no more than 10% of the balance of our account. That's the way this plan has been designed. So $285,000, that's the forecast. You can up the number of contracts at any time you want. That's entirely up to you. So let's go to our other category, which is defining the 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. category, taking only trend bias trades, only trend bias and continuation trades. So continuation trades are signals that say it looks like this trend is going to continue, and here's a valid signal that would allow you to re-enter the trend, even if you've already taken your trade off and taken a profit on it previously. So today we had 30 and a quarter points, and on NQ it is $20 a point. So 30 and a quarter times 20 is a $605 profit, 15 trades. $605 profit. So we're going to go to our data entry on Monday, August 17th, and we're trading 3 contracts. The trading plan has scaled us up to 3 contracts. So times 3, that's a profit of $1,815, $1,815. And we have 15 trades, so that's 45 contracts. That accounts for our fees and expenses, the cost of placing the trades, and so that gave us a profit today of $1,635. And our overall blended average of wins and losses is 27.73 points a day at $20 a point. It's about $1,232 a day on average. Our breakdown now shows that the actual average of winning days is 36.03, and our actual average of losing days is 15.41. So we're going to leave the 15.4 in our future forecast for losing days, allocated 1 day a week on an average, and we're going to just drop this slightly to 36 so that our winning days are right in line with our current average run rate of winning days. And at a 3 contract max, that gives us a forecast of trading only trend bias plus continuation trades, just those 2, not trading consensus, not trading momentum or anything else. That gives us a forecast of just under $400,000 potentially for a 12-month period. I think that this is a realistic forecast. I've gotten some questions, how can you possibly think you could go from 5,000 to almost 400,000 in 12 months? Well, I don't need to be emotional about that. I don't need to consider anything other than the math and the science of it. The science is the adaptive entry system. The adaptive entry system is presenting to us trades, signals to enter trades. Then it shows us a signal to exit the trade. Some of those trades that we exit are losing trades. Some of those trades that we exit are winning trades. The overall balance between winning and losing trades is far weighted to the winning side of the equation. Okay, so the adaptive entry system is giving us that opportunity. And by the way, there's no smoke and mirrors here. We actually walk through these signals every single day in our live trading room. People who are in our community in the live trading room, they have questions about it. We can clarify it for them. We talk about the pluses and minuses of the signals, but at the end of the day, it is the signal. You just take the signals as they present themselves and let the outcome of the day fall wherever it may. Part 2, so that's the science of it. Part 2, the math of it is just simply, okay, well, if I actually did run consistently at that production of profit and points on a daily basis for 12 months, and I scale from 1 contract up to a maximum of 3 contracts, the math just simply says that's what the outcome is after 12 months. So it's the science and the math of this. There's no smoke and mirrors. It's just the way it appears. Now, here's the reality. You might not be averaging 36 points a day in your trend bias trades. You might have a little more slippage on your trades. Maybe yours is 10% less than that. Well, if it was 20% less than that, you'd be averaging somewhere around 23, somewhere around 29, 30 points. That still is a really strong number. If I were to play around with this and say, well, what if we didn't average what we have been, and I only averaged 30 points, it still puts us with a projection, not a guarantee, a projection of potentially $332,000. So that's one of the questions that I've gotten on this, which is coming from a perspective of, well, how do you think you could really do that? And the answer is simply the adaptive entry system provides the science, and the personal trading plan provides the math, allowing us to plug in our actual performance and project out through compound forecasting where we could potentially be over a 12-month period. So we're pretty excited about that. I think that that's very realistic, since the forecast is all based on actual run rates. Now, if our actual run rates increase, the forecast may increase. If our actual run rates decrease, well, then the forecast will decrease. This time invested by each of you as a trader is probably, aside from your actual trading, is the most important activity you could do every single day at the end of the market. You must absolutely keep your eye on, well, what is my average and how would I forecast? I'm not going to be averaging 36 points a day and forecast 80 points a day. Then you have a very unrealistic and unattainable forecast. I also don't want to be showing a run rate of 36 points positive a day and forecast only 20 points, because then I don't have a realistic perspective of where I might end up for a 12-month period. I encourage you to be like any other small business or major corporation. Adjust your forecast on a regular basis so that it aligns as closely as possible to what is realistic. Okay, and that's all we're doing here. And that's why I do this for you every day at the end of the day. And I will make sure that I also show you the performance today from 7 o'clock on. We have a lot of people who like to take a screenshot and compare their trades and just use it as a learning tool. You know, we had some losing trades today. You know, here we lost 6.25 points on a trend bias trade. Here we lost 9 points on a trend bias trade. Here we lost 6.5 points on a continuation trade. But we have a whole bunch of wins in here too. And all of that nets together to be a total of 30.25 points, which is $605, as we said, and times 3 contracts that we're trading. So that's the bottom line for today. I hope you had a great trading day. Today was a little tedious, and one of the things I sincerely appreciate about the tracking that I share with you, because I keep up on this all day long, throughout every day, tracking every trade in real time. One of the things I appreciate about that, and then also the personal trading plan, is at the end of the day, it puts everything in perspective. It didn't matter today how tedious it felt during the day. All that matters is what was the performance result at the end of the day. Anytime throughout the day, if it feels a little tedious, I'm able to take a look at my summary and I'm able to see, well, where are we throughout the course of the day? Those are really powerful bits of information, and I share this throughout the day in the live trading room to help people understand where we kind of stand. And if you had a little slippage on your trades, maybe more so than I did, today there wasn't a lot of slippage, but you know, you could factor in a percentage of maybe write-off of a slippage. If you had 10% of slippage, you know, take 3 points off of that, still 27 points for the day. We have days where we lose. You know, that's just the nature of trading. You know, we had a day last week where we lost 32 points. That is not a fun day. We haven't had a lot of losing days in the trend bias category. Friday, we made 125 points. You just got to take the signals. You've got to follow the trades. You've got to unemotionally just let the trade and a result of the trade fall where it may. So that's the review for today. I hope you guys had a great trading day, and we'll be back tomorrow with more trading starting at 8:45 a.m. in the live trading room.